Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partnered with Robert Miller & Son Furniture of Kokomo. My name is Drew Larison. This is MTM. Mr. Mayor, how are you?
Doing well, thanks. For a Monday, how are you?
Oh, it's been a Monday.
Good. It has been, yeah.
I am well. We have a lot of people watching already, which I'd love to see. People
good afternoon.
Jumping in.
Absolutely.
Love to see it. We've got some questions popping up in the chat already.
So we got a little late start.
Oh, we're a little bit late, but we are here. Some people were ready to go in the chat today. So
all right.
Love to see everybody. Thanks for joining us. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I just look like a black pit. This is like a very dark sweater to look at that. It's just, I'm almost a floating head today. Here we go. Let's give a shout out to Robert Miller & Son. They are the partner of this show and they've always got something great going on. And what they have going on right now is the New Year sale. The New Year sale is here at Robert Miller & Son, and it's a great time to refresh your home. For a limited time, you can save up to 50% off our in-store clearance items. If you'd rather create something that fits your space perfectly, which I think this is so cool, they are offering 30% off all custom orders. Yes. People are still doing custom furniture orders. You can choose your fabric, your style, your comfort, and let them help you build the piece you have been wanting. It's a new year and a new chance to make your home feel brand new again. Stop in and take a look around and see what kind of savings you can have and start the new year with. New Year sale is happening right now through February at Robert Miller & Son. Come and join in and find something you'll love. Leave a comment in your chat. If you could replace any article or any piece of furniture in your home, money didn't matter. You're just getting a new blank. What would you replace? Oh,
gosh. Probably our master bedroom outfit.
Oh, just like the whole bedroom set?
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. Do you like your mattress?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's all right.
The older I get, the more... Man, a good mattress is so important.
Exactly, it's important.
Oh, you spend a lot of time on that mattress, and it's very important to have something you love. So anyway, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for Robert Miller & Son. What's going on in your life? How's your week been? Or your Monday been?
The weekend was good. Monday's been busy. We started meeting with the members of the Federal Order of Police, KPD's Federal Order of Police group, because we're in contract negotiation years with both police and fire, and police have started the meeting, so we're beginning that. We've got crews out filling potholes. So again, as things continue to warm up a little bit and then they freeze again and warm up a little bit. I mean, it's that time of year. So nobody's really surprised that potholes start rearing their ugly head. However, we do have a new pothole hotline number. I had to change, got a new phone system, and so the previous number no longer works, but it's a simple one, 456-7474, 456-7474. Help us identify those, because again, a lot of folks are like, oh, you should know where these are. Your crews drive over these all the time, but they're in dump trucks, or they're in trash trucks, or they're in pickup trucks, and may not, always see those. And so we appreciate folks being the eyes on the streets and letting us know. And we've got patch buggies out while the weather is nice to address those. So hitting that, trying to finalize the this year's summer concert series because at this point a lot of acts are already starting to get lined up for the summer, especially with it being America's 250th. So a lot of those probably hitting different events and festivals and such throughout the country. So working on that. And just day-to-day business outside of that.
Very cool. Super Bowl was last night. Congrats to the Seattle Seahawks. Also, the Olympics are going on.
How about the Olympics?
Are you an Olympics guy?
I'll watch it. I don't follow it directly, but I did receive word that the Japanese women's snowboarder that won the gold is named Kokomo.
Really?
Named her name.
Named after us.
Apparently is Kokomo, and she's won gold, and so maybe we'll reach out to her and see if she'll come and visit the city. So,
very cool. Kokomo. Who knew? That's a great name.
I know, right?
I wonder how many kids have been named Kokomo. What would you, Coco would be your nickname, maybe? That's always like the first question I ask when I think of like a cool kid name. I'm like, what would the nickname be?
Right. Yeah. Or if it's, initials, if it's, like Tony Joseph, and you
Sure.
can say TJ or
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah. My son, his initials are JJ, and like I want to call him. I love JJ. I think it's the coolest nickname. But do you know that? Have you heard that Kokomo show?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people watching and like they have kids, and
yeah.
you know you've heard of Kokomo. Like the baby on Kokomo, his name is JJ.
Oh, yeah.
So like my
Can't
almost
do
10-year-old
that.
son is like, I will not be called a
even.
baby name.
Right.
I am not a baby. But I'm like, oh, but JJ is such a cool freaking nickname. I love JJ. It's really cool.
We'll see. Maybe he'll grow out of it.
Maybe.
We can do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's cool.
be
I
fun.
mean, also like, nah, who cares? It was a Michigan quarterback. His name was JJ. And I'm like, that's pretty cool too.
Okay.
So awesome. Well, let's get into the questions
let's do it.
today. I
Jump
do
in.
want to say before we jump in, and I know there's probably some new people watching that never watched the show before.
Welcome.
This is, first of all, welcome. Thank you for being
Yep,
here. Thank you for
absolutely.
participating. Your local government here with the mayor. But just some ground rules on like how this works. So we have earlier today, we always put out a call to questions on our Facebook page and like some other pages that we own and run. And we get a bunch of what we refer to as pre-show questions. So they will comment on that post. They will answer, they will ask their questions that they have. Our team goes through literally all the way up until like 3 o'clock and gathers all of those pre-show questions onto a nice little document for me that I have here. Shout out to the team there because that is a lot of work that I
it
just
is.
don't have time to do during the day. So I appreciate them jumping in and doing it. So we go through those pre-show questions first, and then you're watching this live. Maybe you have what we call live chat questions. Then we get to the live chat questions. So if you're curious, if I'm not, because I respond to you, I'm very active in the chat on this show, and I will respond to you, hey, I got your question. Just want you to know, like, I have your question. If I respond back to you, I have it. I've got it. I've pulled it over to my notes right after the pre-show questions. We get to those live chat questions. But if I don't respond back to your comment, like I reply back to it saying I got it, let me know, because that means sometimes the chat gets bonkers and I miss some questions. So like, please be kind, obviously, but like,
We'll
let me
do it.
know. Let me know that I might have missed your question, and I promise I'll go back and I will get your question. We don't skip questions.
If you've
on the show.
replied to it,
That means I've got it.
It's in the queue.
Yeah, I mean, if I've replied back to you saying,
in the
hey, I
hopper.
got your question, I've pulled it over to my notes, we will get to it
in the hopper.
after those pre-show questions. So just a little bit of education. I know every week there's probably new people watching the show that have never watched it before, which we're super grateful for. I mean, we are a few minutes in and there's 70 people watching this live right
Hey,
now. Maybe we'll break
good for
100
you.
today. That'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
But, you know, that's how that works. So if you have a question in live chat, put it in there. I will comment back to you and say, hey, I've got your question. Thank you for being here. I pull it over to my notes, and we'll get to that question.
Yep.
But we do have, today, for example, we have 32 pre-show
right.
questions that we're going to knock out first, and then we'll get to those live chat questions. So thank you guys for being here. By the way, I saw no one comment which furniture they would replace, and that is just me
yet.
being nosy. But also, we know that chat and engagement makes this show pop up on more people's feeds, and we want the most people possible in Kokomo to be able to get the chance to ask the mayor a question. So if you don't mind, click the like button, maybe share it to your feed.
Yep.
I know some of you guys people have been doing that. Click the like button, share it to your feed, comment, get some engagement going in the chat, because that just helps more and more people
That's
see
right.
the show. Okay, so
Love to
let's
inform.
dive into
All
it
right.
today. First question from Ben on Facebook.
Hey.
How do you communicate your vision to the town wow.
Okay.
Drew's
Slow
struggling
down.
today.
Slow down. It's all right.
It's a great question.
okay.
Ben on Facebook. How do you communicate your vision for the town to the people working for/with you, and how often? What is your vision for Kokomo boiled down to its most foundational motivation? Great question, Ben.
Yeah,
I don't
great
think we've
question.
ever been asked this question before.
So within the team, sharing that vision and progress and such, a lot of it, I meet monthly with every department head, weekly with small groups of department heads that specialize, in this case, things that we're working on, projects that, we hear are, out and about in the community, because again, a lot of folks don't or assume that if this is being built or that's being built or something's coming in, that we know about it or that the city's involved in, and a lot of times we're not, because folks are doing that on their on private property and with individual developers and such. So continuing to communicate to the vision, with department heads, with council members as we meet weekly or each month, out to the community, just continuing to participate on various boards on the Greater Kokomo Economic Development Alliance. their board and executive board, and so report each month in that meeting, kind of what the city's working on, what we'd like to see, and then each October is now the city update with the chamber. It's a chamber luncheon with a couple hundred individuals from businesses throughout the community and other elected officials and stuff that come. It's the city's update. That's kind of become the state of the city, where I get the opportunity to kind of boast on what we've been doing, what's in the hopper, and some things that we have or would like to see happening. So that's kind of where I guess the vision is shared and worked on and communicated.
Got it. Love it. Next question is from Tiffany on Facebook. I happened to be walking the trail by Kokomo and noticed a solar type tree that people can plug their chargers into while listening to the music there. How does it work? Are there plans to have those installed in other parks of Kokomo?
So that was actually,
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
cool.
That was a great partnership with the city and Duke Energy. Duke had some grant funds that they made available to municipalities. That was a project that fit within those parameters that we partnered with them and installed that there, knowing that, yes, features like that could be benefited or could benefit folks, in all of our parks, but that's the initial one for now. Near the Kokomo, and knowing that folks, renting the bikes or even having the area there for the smaller concerts and shows and such. So that's the first now. There aren't plans yet to place additional ones in our parks. Doesn't mean that we won't, because it does seem to be a good feature and a good amenity in that area. And so definitely something, maybe even out at Championship Park or some of the other highly traveled areas, maybe look at the possibility of adding additional structures like that, because it does keep people connected and charged.
Got it. Okay, which that's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
I love that.
it was neat.
It's a great idea, and it's like green energy.
Solar.
Very cool.
Solar.
I love it.
Yep.
Janine on Facebook. Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
with all the questions, et cetera, being raised about the land usage up north and the possibility exists that there will not be enough room/seats for all the citizens to be seen or heard at the meeting tomorrow evening. This question was asked because the meeting's tonight, right? Or is the planning meeting tomorrow?
Planning commission meeting tomorrow.
Yeah. Just make sure people know. Do you have plans to move the meeting to a larger venue, or does it not concern you / the council if everyone hears what is taking place? Please do not suggest watching online, because no one ever answers the questions on there. Janine on Facebook.
Okay, at this time, no, there's not been plans to change the venue from City Hall, knowing that there may be additional folks that may spill out into the foyer. I know in the past there's been speakers set up out so that folks can hear. I believe there's going to be a sign-up sheet for folks that wish to speak to make sure that they're called up and given that opportunity. But arrangements can be made in order to have those that may spill out into the lobby or foyer area to listen in. But at this time, no, there was not a plan to change the venue for tomorrow's planning commission meeting.
Okay, gotcha. Janine was there. Let's see. Next question is from Andrew on Facebook. Is it a requirement for the industrial park to be zoned heavy industrial, or could it be zoned light industrial or commercial? I don't think many are against the city growing and creating jobs, but would rather see the warehouses, assembly, distribution, office space, not smelter, heavy metal, or chemical processors that would reduce air quality and have environmental risks. We've seen the Lebanon area successfully attract these types of non-controversial jobs and grow. Why not Kokomo? Andrew on Facebook.
There are other classifications for zoning. I think the landowners have chosen that and requested that because it's consistent with the heavy industrial that's adjacent to it. But yes, that is definitely a classification that those property owners could have made as part of their application. But again, the city's not requesting that they do this. Didn't drive that. These are the landowners themselves that collectively in that area requested that they be zoned high intensive or heavy industrial to be consistent with what is to the south of those. So that would really be a question for the landowners. But yes, obviously there are various classifications of zonings that folks and property owners can choose from.
Got it. And I will say, Andrew, who just asked that previous question, he had a quick follow-up about the solar charging trees. Said, did the grant from Duke Energy, you said, right? Mm-hmm. Did that cover all of the cost? If not, how does the cost for each? If no, how does it cost each for the city? Or how much does it cost? I'm guessing is what he's saying.
I think we ended up splitting. I think that solar tree was around $50,000, and Duke had supplied half of that. So I mean, it was a cost split. It wasn't a total amount, or the amount that came from Duke did not cover the entire cost of the tree itself.
Gotcha. And just to follow up to Andrew on his other question, could the city say no to heavy industrial and request a different classification?
So it goes before the planning commission and the council. I mean, so it would just get voted. I mean, if they could vote it down and deny it, and then I think once it's voted down, I don't know if they have to wait. I believe they have to wait 180 days before they could petition again for that and could then request a different zoning. But no, I don't believe either the planning commission or the council can take that and say, "Yeah, that's great that you want this, but we're only going to pass it because of that." And it would just be yes or no, and then those landowners would have to then refile for a separate lesser zoning.
Gotcha. Okay. Definitely a real account. Apache Helicopter on Facebook.
Oh.
Will Moore and Wyman, I'm guessing he's talking about you and Paul Wyman, local business owner, have a town hall to take questions and responses from their fellow constituents who they are bringing such momentum to? Because surely if they are doing such a lovely job, then they would love to hear the praises from all of the people, especially the people over by the battery plant that could be affected by the rezoning. Apache Helicopter on Facebook.
Okay. I believe Mr. Wyman had a town hall type of meeting last Thursday, and then the series of public hearings or public meetings for both Planning Commission and the City Council within which the rezoning and the annexation are being heard will be basically serve as those town hall or public meetings that will allow folks to come in and share their thoughts in regards to the annexation and the rezoning.
Got it.
So they'll be there.
Terry on Facebook, most folks I talk to are wondering where he stands on this data center decision and precisely why. And does he realize that the aggravation of having multiple construction projects going that never end? Don't just ask the easy questions, please. Terry, I ask the questions that you guys ask. I don't ask just the easy ones. So what Terry is asking, most folks are, where do you stand on it? And do you realize the aggravation that having multiple construction projects going on that never end?
The multiple construction projects, and I don't know if it's just talking about, in and around the battery plant area that would also lead into potential development in these areas adjacent to it. But I mean, if she's referencing as well, the recent Chick-fil-A that was built and our hotel conference center that's being done. I mean, there's a lot of things that is happening in Kokomo. Same way with housing. I mean, so there's a lot happening here in Kokomo. A lot of eyes are on Kokomo, and so. No, I don't think that's necessarily a problem, showing that the city's continuing to grow and provide other amenities and other opportunities. But as for the data center, we've not seen, so just for clarification, we've not seen nor received nor discussed or seen anything in writing or on plans, either the city or the planning commission for any data centers. Is a data center one of the permissible uses for this industrial zoning classification? Yes. Where I stand on it is, like any other development, if it's something that's going to be too much of a draw on our resource, if it's something that's going to be too detrimental to the community, and such, we would definitely take a good hard look at that and do what we can to set restrictions to protect folks from that development. But at the same time, because a lot has changed in regards to the cooling and of data centers and other manufacturing and the use or lack thereof of certain utilities. It may not be as detrimental as what a lot of folks, because there's been a lot of comments, against it and such, but there's been what I've seen folks provide information, on how, the technology and structure of data centers have changed, and not every data center is the same. Some are large, some are small, and so and I think with what's being proposed, because the 31 bypass cuts through there, it's not going to be a large meta type of data center if one is being proposed or discussed with the landowners. So there's different sizes, different shapes, different uses, different draws and such on all kinds of development. And so we just take it case by case.
Okay. Chris on Facebook, if you're trying to beautify Kokomo, will there be anything done with all of the panhandlers? Chris on Facebook.
Yeah, so we've talked about this before. Nobody knows anyone's given situation, and yes, there are panhandlers out there, and I know with some that may have issues or be considered homeless. When we passed the camping ordinance, we were criticized by some about criminalizing homelessness or mental illness. But panhandlers, it's a different situation. There's no ordinance currently against that unless they create a safety hazard or become a threat to themselves or others. At that point, they can call KPD. But we have reached out to other communities that have ordinances addressing panhandlers, and we're in the process now of kind of looking at that and seeing if that's something or a version thereof that we can consider passing here in Kokomo to help address or minimize the amount of panhandlers.
Okay. America on Facebook.
Hey.
Not the country, it's the name.
Sure.
I would love to see more options for senior living. My mom makes too much for the senior places based off your income, and the other ones are way too expensive. So I looked into complexes, and they don't seem to have showers. I keep looking, but not a whole lot of other options. America on Facebook.
Complexes that don't have shower.
Maybe.
That'd be interesting. That's something that, again, if the market dictates and there's facilities or individuals that would that develop these and come to Kokomo, the city would be happy to see how we could partner and assist in that development. But for now, a lot of the housing that's being proposed is multifamily and some single family. I don't know if one of the complexes there along 931 and Sycamore would have any type of senior living aspect of its development. I don't know of any that is being proposed now, but would always be happy to talk to folks that would bring that type of development here. I know we've got a lot of good ones, but I don't know the cost of those, so it sounds like some of them may be pricing some folks out of it.
Okay. Next question is from Candace on Facebook.
Hey.
I would like to know where you stand on your failures with the battery plant thus far, and why he believes furthering more failed industry and companies non-compliant in standards are Coco momentum. Uses the hot word of the day.
Yep.
The city shouldn't be making decisions for people that purposely moved out of the area. Candace on Facebook.
Well, the battery plant's still operational. They haven't ramped up to the employment levels that they had hoped to at this point, but they've got one line currently producing, retooling lines 2, 3, and 4 to produce different types of battery storage products for other customers and clients outside of the EV automobile or the EV industry, or to other EV customers or manufacturers. It's still operational, again, not to the extent that they had or had anticipated prior to the leadership or administration change, at the federal level. But yes, they're all still going. So I don't know that it's necessarily a failure yet until they close up and board up and totally walk away. There's still very much a presence there. Any opportunity that we get to bring additional good paying jobs to folks outside of the automotive industry as well, which is kind of our hopes with this additional ground that's being annexed and rezoned, would hopefully only benefit the community, increasing the tax base, increasing opportunities to youth that are coming out of school and keeping them here, avoiding the brain drain and such. So I guess I don't see a lot of that as failures, just with the current production kind of being cyclical, as always seems to be through the automotive industry.
Got it. Luis on Facebook also asking a similar question.
Okay.
Why are we attracting all these big industries that in the end don't fulfill their promise of keeping jobs in Kokomo? An example, the battery plant and now supposedly a data center. I mean, there's not a data center yet, so they haven't even promised anything.
Right.
Yeah, okay. But same question from Luis.
But yeah, and I mean, the battery plant, again, waiting to ramp back up to the employment levels that they had hoped. They're probably talking about employees leaving. I mean, yes, so if they're Stellantis employees and go back into the Stellantis network in other places, or the Samsung, if the Koreans that were on 2-year work cycles, that's probably part of the strategy as well, that a handful of those went back, and they would then slowly bring others back, especially as they're retooling the lines. They're not laying dormant, and they're not producing anything or providing jobs. It's just not to the level that they had anticipated at this point, but are remaining optimistic.
Okay. Let me go to the next question. This was posted in a group, so it's like a not real name, but White Carrot 1033 on Facebook. What's with the buyouts of land coming from Paul Wyman? Public hearings are being heard to turn agriculture into heavy industrial. Will this become a data center, and will you keep your word to protect Kokomo from data centers? Similar question. Any response to that?
I think at the meeting last Thursday, I mean, it was verified that Paul Wyman is not out buying up land. Paul Wyman is a real estate professional acting as an agent for landowners or developers or clients, that have hired him, like any other commercial real estate agent or developer, in the Kokomo and Howard County area, or across the state for that matter. So conversations that may be had with property owners is just, this is what, as I understand it, because I wasn't part of those meetings, wasn't part of those conversations with landowners. Mr. Wyman doesn't represent the city in any of that. Again, he represents private individuals or private companies. And just that, here's what's happening. If there's an interest in selling as well, he's probably, again, acting on behalf of his client, saying there would be an interest, possibly in your properties as well, but nothing forced, no buyout. Mr. Wyman's not the one buying it out. And I mean, it's interesting because this happens all the time. I was with some friends yesterday that own a handful of land around Howard County and even in adjacent counties, and had basically admitted and said that they get phone calls all the time, about the land that they have in various areas, about potential development, or if they'd be interested to sell and such. I mean, and it's a lot of times not even from agents within Kokomo or Howard County. I mean, there are site selectors for companies outside that are looking for opportunity, and so this kind of thing happens all the time to landowners in areas where a company or individuals might be interested.
Okay. Tony on Facebook, what factories are coming to Howard County? Also, I heard the old Delco factory is bringing people back in there. So is this going to generate more competitive pay for others? Tony on Facebook.
So Borg Warner has ramped up. I know they sold their north facility, but are back along Lincoln Road, and they were in the process, I don't know if they still are, they were in the process of hiring folks back to the Kokomo location there. There's a flutter of activity happening in the General Motors plants as well. This is really exciting because they had gotten dangerously low employment numbers. Now they're up pushing 200 with the hopes and anticipation of bringing more, which would be wonderful to see the flutter of activity continue out there. Did I hit what he was saying? I think, yes.
Just about the old Delco building.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it said something about bringing competitive wages.
Yes.
Those type of engineering or higher skilled jobs, obviously, would definitely be beneficial to those that are looking for a more competitive wage or a higher skilled employment here.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Let me. Next question is from Justin on Facebook. How does someone run for local government? I've been searching online and can only find information for state or federal offices. Where do I find info to run for city government? Justin on Facebook.
There's all kinds of packets available for different offices, both city and county, townships, and such. At the county clerk's office on the second floor of the courthouse, right downtown on the square in Kokomo. They have information there. I think you can also get information on in.gov and probably put a search there through the state to see what the possibilities are. But locally, the best, either with the chairman of both political parties, either Republican or Democrat, they can get information on positions that may be available or how to kind of help walk through the process, or again, the county clerk's office on the second floor of the courthouse, downtown Kokomo.
Got it. Thomas, why is there an ordinance that affects the size of lettering on affects the size of businesses lettering on their own building? That makes zero sense. I fully understand having limitations on freestanding signage. Kokomo politicians hard at work, I guess. Thomas on Facebook.
Yeah, so that was an overlay, a sign overlay district that was created along 931 by the previous administration to keep, as he mentioned, freestanding signs, down to the ground level, unless they're multi-tenant, but then just to keep businesses along the 931 corridor, so many feet in each direction, from getting too out of hand with their signage and such. And so that's just something that we are abiding by and following now, that was in place when I came into office.
Got it. Christina on Facebook.
Yeah.
This was a comment on a reel. How much money has passed your desk to sell out Kokomo for a data center? And is it more or less than what Chick-fil-A paid you?
It's, first of all, there's not a data center that has been proposed or development plan, development agreement, or anything. But it was the dollar amount that has crossed my desk in regards to any of the annexation or rezoning has been the exact same amount that passed my desk for Chick-fil-A. $0. And it's just so funny that people, I don't know if they watch TVs and movies or just have experience in other communities or something, or maybe other people like that, but I don't know why people think that I'm lining my man. If I'm lining my pockets or I'm getting paid for something, I can't wait for these checks to start coming in, because I've not seen anything. I've not seen anything. So.
Got it. Next question is from Your American Friend on Facebook, which is definitely like a real person. Mayor Moore, the folks on the outskirts are the ones who will feel the heat and hear the hum, want nothing to do with this. Let's not let a few jobs drown out a few thousand no's. Give them a vote, or at least give them a hearing. Rural voices matter too. And if there's no other option and a kill switch clause, if water use jumps 20% or noise hits the limit, we the people get to say, thanks, but you're done. Annual reviews plus a citizen's veto keep the power here, not in a boardroom. Your American Friend on Facebook.
Very good.
Not really
Thank
a
you.
question there,
Yep,
but
thank you.
more of a statement. Matt on Facebook. Drew. Oh, this one's to me.
Oh
my
all
gosh.
right.
I'm flattered. Drew, it would be dishonest to say that the data centered is a well-supported initiative. It seems to have an overwhelming amount of people against it. To be honest, are you going to address this fact? I don't believe I ever said the data center is a well-supported initiative. Trust me, I read all these questions. I am very well aware that is it a not well-supported initiative in Kokomo, unless the voices are more but quieter on the supporting initiative of this. But it seems as you have an overwhelming amount of people who are against it. To be honest, are you going to address this fact? I think what we've done on the show is addressing that. I mean, there have not been one comment. I am on question 17 with yours, Matt. There has not been one comment of somebody saying, this is a great idea. I'd love to see a data center. So I believe we are doing just that. That's what that feels like?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And again, folks, there has not been, I mean, yes, a data center can be a permitted use in that zoning, but there has not been a development plan or proposal or agreement presented to the Planning Commission for consideration, because that would be a site plan, development that would need to be approved by the Planning Commission, nor anything to the city of Kokomo for any type of participation or incentives. So.
Got it. Next question is from Shakti on Facebook. It's crazy that he is praising how the battery plant uses their water when they, Star Plus Energy, were categorized as a significant non-compliance regarding water pollution. NPDES stands for the National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. That's a thing. Regulatory program created by the 1972 Clean Water Act to control water pollution. We talked about that a little bit because there was a public notice in the Kokomo Tribune about what were non-compliant. And what did you say about that last week?
So every year, any permits that are monitored and granted by our wastewater treatment facility and department, any violations are required to be reported. It's my understanding is that on these larger corporations, our wastewater treatment plant sets standards or parameters more restrictive or lower, closer to residential and smaller type of commercial levels and monitoring than the commercial, so that they can see what's coming out. I mean, so even though it says it's serious or severely non-compliant type of permit, doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean, because a lot of the waste that's being generated in those plants is being trucked out. I mean, a lot of what's coming out is from the restrooms and the facilities in there, and so. Any questions can be directed to our wastewater director. She's done a great job explaining to that. She's going to be available tonight at the council meeting in case anybody has questions regarding that. But they continue to monitor that, and it's just a reporting issue. It's not as severe as what may appear just by the naming or the title of the permit. I know that's not what folks want to hear, but our wastewater department does a great job monitoring and controlling that.
Got it. Let's take a quick break to talk about our friends over at Affordable Pest Management, Indiana's trusted choice for residential and commercial pest control, wildlife removal, insulation services, crawl space cleanouts, and full home protection. They deliver fast, reliable service with honest pricing and same-day emergency response when you need it most. They handle everything from general pests like ants, spiders, roaches, bedbugs, and wildlife issues involving raccoons, squirrels, bats, and groundhogs. Their team also provides crawl space cleanouts, vapor barrier installation, insulation upgrades, gutter cleaning, power washing, holiday installation, and more. Protecting your home or business inside and out. Homeowners, landlords, business owners, and property managers rely on Affordable Pest Management for clear communication, professional inspections, and long-term solutions that save money. New customers can get up to 10% off of their first service when they mention they heard this ad on this show.
Perfect.
Call them today at 765-450-8584, or you can visit them at indianaapm.com to schedule your service or request a free quote.
Perfect.
Shout out to Affordable Pest Management here in Kokomo.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for being a
guys.
part of the show. Next question is from Brooke on Facebook. Can there be a pole put in the back of the light at Morgan and Apperson headed west? The light with the turn lane signal. Every time there is a bunch of wind, it blows all around as if it might fall off. The other ones in the intersection have them. Thank you, Brooke, on Facebook.
I believe that was addressed today. I know there was concern with that, but it's my understanding that the traffic department did get out to secure that light. So I think we're good.
All right. Next question is from Tanya on Facebook. 931 light timing. Heading north through Kokomo, it is a regular occurrence to get a red light at each intersection. It wasn't always this way. Can this be fixed, please?
NDOT. So NDOT controls the signals all along 931. That's still considered a state highway. Was not relinquished to the city, and we have no control or authority over the signals, but can obviously request those. And a lot of those are, I guess, affected by sensors. There's sensors either way, so sometimes they malfunction. Sometimes, with traffic coming east or west, activates or sets some of those off as well. And so a lot of that has to do with traffic patterns and such. But unfortunately, NDOT has authority over all of the signals from north to south along 931.
Okay. Next question is from Lori on Facebook. I would like to know what significant non-compliance means and what's being done by the city to make sure we're safe. I am not against Kokomo growing and pivoting away from being a one-trick pony with automotive, but we also live in a toxic city with multiple Superfund sites, and I want to make sure we aren't allowing more to be created with current and future developments. Lori on Facebook.
It's not. So again, a lot of those, what that states on those is because of the lower restrictions or the lower standards or parameters that are put on those permits so that the wastewater treatment can detect that. A lot of what I had heard mentioned from our director in regards to some of those was because those permits were after construction. And so as pipes are continuing to get flushed out or to get started and stuff, sometimes there's concrete or there's shavings from the pipes themselves that were installed and such. So a lot of it has to do with that. It's not necessarily what is actually being discharged by the companies themselves through production, because again, a lot of the production out at the battery plant, as I understand it, the major waste is being trucked out of those facilities, or part of it too being recycled to one of the suppliers next to the battery plant.
Okay. Next question is from Bob on Facebook. I would like to know how we can better control the ones taking advantage of the handicap parking situations. Parking in handicap spots with no plate or card from their mirror, and even some with legal handicap parking in spaces that are marked for van parking. I am in a wheelchair and my Brawnability van opens out the side door. When someone parks in a no parking area, stripped beside the handicap spots, or striped beside the handicap spots, I cannot open my door for the ramp to come out and get back in my van. So I'm sitting there holding my groceries and I can't get in. I see this as getting more common practice at our stores. Even the other day, there was a car parked in front of the slope sidewalk where I couldn't get on to take care of my business. This has happened to me several times, and as we age in the town, it will only become more of a problem. Any ideas? Bob on Facebook.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with weather as well. People sneaking up and parking into those, just thinking that they're running in and out of the stores during the cold weather. But because a lot of those are on private property, we would need or encourage the drivers themselves that aren't able to park in there, if they see those that have violated parking in there and not being handicapped or not being permissible, or the property owners or business owners themselves making the call to get KPD or towing companies out there while the individuals are still parked in those areas. I get that they come up, and by the time somebody may call and report something, that the individual may be gone. But a lot of it would be on-site security or calls made immediately to KPD, Sheriff's Department, or towing companies by those individuals or businesses to help address that.
Gotcha. Sabrina on Facebook. What is up with a company by the name of Customer Container Buildings building the hub on the north side of Kokomo? Has 500 container apartments, 114 room Hyatt Inn hotel, and 28 townhomes in space for retail? What's that?
Yeah, so the area just south of the battery plant and suppliers sites and just north of basically the Ivy Tech campus or Morgan Street was purchased and is being developed there. I believe she's referencing what the initial description for the hub was, and it's what the developer has envisioned for that area. They've just been slow moving and continuing to produce additional homes or retail, or as she mentioned, the hotel. So it was something that the developer bought the ground, had a vision or a project proposed for that area, and just is slow moving in getting those extra pieces or amenities or facilities built. So, private developer.
Okay. Let's give a shout out to our friends over at Kokomo Antique Mall. If you love the thrill of finding something truly one of a kind, you've got to check out the Kokomo Antique Mall. This isn't just a shop, it's a treasure hunt with over 75 vendors and 3 full floors to explore. It's one of those places where you can wander for an hour and still feel like you've barely scratched the surface. You'll find everything from antiques, vintage decor, to furniture, collectibles, home decor, and unique statement pieces that you won't see anywhere else. And because it's a multi-vendor mall, the inventory is always changing, meaning every time you visit, there's something new waiting around the corner. Whether you're a collector, a casual browser, or someone looking for that perfect piece for your home, you're bound to leave with something that has a story. They're open Tuesday through Sunday, 11 to 6, and it's the perfect spot to spend an afternoon browsing, treasure hunting, and supporting local vendors all in one place, right here in good downtown Kokomo. So next time you're downtown, stop by Kokomo Antique Mall, where every visit feels like a new find. Check them out right on Sycamore Street, right on the square.
Right on the square.
Nikki on Facebook. There's a crater on Jefferson westbound near Berkeley, practically taking up the entire lane. Nikki, I also saw that this morning, so thanks for saying something.
Yeah, I believe that was a water main break, the crater. So, I mean, it wasn't drastic like you typically see where it's shooting up out of the water, but it was my understanding that there was a water main break under there, and currently the contractor for Indiana American Water is in that location now, and I think has it closed up and is working toward the repair as we speak, if that's the crater that we're talking about. If not, then got folks watching in. They can send the Apache buggy out there, or 456-7474, report that pothole if it's actually a pothole versus what I was told was a utility issue.
Got it. That would make sense because it was...
Was it?
Large.
Yeah, well,
large
sure.
and in charge there. Next question is from, let's see, Ryan on Facebook. When will the Hundreds road between Center and 26 behind Highland Springs be paved? It's one of the worst roads in Kokomo. Ryan on Facebook.
Yep, 100 East, I think it's 90 East, 100 East, 110 East.
Maybe he meant 100 South.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot of those.
Sometimes I read these too fast. When will 100 South road between Center and 26 behind? I said hundreds of roads.
Well, no, I think it is east.
Okay, never mind. I was right.
It is east, and that's something, again, needs more work done than what we had hoped, but it's my understanding that there will be some attention given to it this year as a formal Band-Aid until we can get funds or the Community Crossings grant application include that to have additional funds to address it the way it needs to be. But it will receive some attention this year until we can get something more drastic done with it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm pulling over live chat questions, doing multiple things.
Yep.
Greg on Facebook, is there a city ordinance or something that can be done about citizens and or businesses not shoveling? I thought there was a $1 fine if not shoveled after a certain amount of snow. I was very disappointed in the citizens and the business owners of Kokomo after the latest snowfall a couple of weeks ago. I still see elderly and kids walking in the street, and it's very unsafe. Don't forget about first responders, mail carriers, etc. Please do something about it. Greg on Facebook.
Okay, I'd have to look. I don't know if I know that property owners are responsible for or own the sidewalks, and so this would, in a sense, be responsible for it. I don't know if there's an ordinance that actually states that after so many hours after a major weather event, particularly snow, that the sidewalks need to be cleared. We can look into that and see, but again, a lot of times, even if it's property owners, and we just mentioned elderly or children, having to walk in the streets and stuff. I mean, a lot of those property owners may not have the time or means in a lot of incidences as well. Businesses, you would like to think should, but yeah, I don't know that there's an ordinance. We can look into it and see. But like a lot of others, I mean, enforcement becomes an issue as well, especially if there's a tenant as opposed to the property owner itself, who would actually be responsible if it's worked into some type of lease agreement or such.
Makes sense.
Can look into it.
Okay. Next question is from Sonia.
Hey.
What is the building at the corner of Goyer and Boulevard? Haven't there been any businesses interested in building out at the ramps out East Boulevard and 31?
The building, the one that's being constructed
guessing.
at Boulevard and Goyer, is a convenience store and gas station. I got in under the radar before we passed the convenience store ordinance restricting development within a mile of another one or an existing one. She's talking about the building on the southwest corner of that intersection. I know it was for sale for a while, but privately owned. Not sure if somebody's in there now or not, but that's all I know about those.
Okay. Next question is from Jeremy Rossman. When are we going to get these lights fixed on the north end? One is about to fall down and the other is blinking at a four-way stop. The city needs to get in gear and start fixing things. Jeremy on Facebook.
Well, I just mentioned the one that was swinging up at Morgan and Washington was fixed today. The one there at the intersection of North and Washington, a semi-truck took out the signal on the southeast corner of that, right in front of the Dollar General store. So again, weather permitting and such, to get the base reset and addressed first before the pole goes up. It takes time, especially when weather and cold temperatures can affect what needs to be done at the base of that lamp. So they're working on it.
Okay. So the city is getting their
We're trying to get
gear,
stuff done.
Whatever. Okay. Let me see. Go up here. Okay, yeah, let's talk about our friends over at Wolf's Smokehouse. Okay. If you're craving real barbecue, the kind that takes time, care, and serious smoke, then you have to check out Wolf's Smokehouse.
Yep.
Wolf's Smokehouse is a locally owned smokehouse and barbecue shack at 502 North Main Street in Kokomo, and they're doing things the old school way. They use fresh, never frozen meat, and they don't rush the process. Their smokers are rolling from open to close because their tagline, "We smoke all day," isn't a tagline, it's a promise. On the menu, you'll find everything barbecue lovers dream about: tender brisket, juicy chicken, savory sausage, fall off the bone ribs, and classic smoked bologna, all packed with flavor and smoked low and slow. Wolf's has delicious signature sides, and they even offer catering, so you can bring that smoke to your next party or work lunch. Here's the only warning: because everything is made fresh daily, Wolf's is known for one very real thing: they sell out every single day.
Yep.
When it's gone, it is gone. They are open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. So do yourself a favor, get there early. Wolf Smokehouse, they smoke all day. Next question is from Danita on Facebook. Did they really change the dates of the Haynes-Apperson Festival?
They did. They had to because of the ride vendors. Again, with it being America's 250th, the ride vendor had already committed to another festival the weekend of the 4th of July. And so in order to have the available ride vendor for that, the Haynes-Apperson Committee, which is a standalone, I mean, the city supports it financially to help the festival and such, but the Haynes-Apperson Committee made the decision and had to bump the Haynes-Apperson back to the 18th, 19th, and 20th of June, again, because of the availability of ride vendors for the festival.
This one's fun.
Yep.
You ready?
Okay.
Julie on Facebook.
Hey.
Well, now, let's see.
Okay.
Creek Chubs is an idiotic name. Chick-fil-A is one of the worst absolute places traffic-wise possible, and most of the people in Kokomo can't afford the new housing being built because we are way too busy paying our outrageous property taxes. We're not against progress. We're against progress when it makes no sense or could be done in a more efficient manner, affects our property values, poisons our soil and water, or just plain old sounds ignorant. Creek Chubs. You should have named it the team Dirty Politicians, the Sellouts, or maybe even the Line Pockets. That fits much more appropriately these days. Julie on Facebook.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Austin on Facebook. Does Paul Wyman have to look over the questions being asked to make sure Mr. Mayor is saying exactly what Paul Wyman wants the public to hear? Is that another one for me?
I guess since
no,
since
Mr.
you select
Wyman
the questions and you ask them.
Mr. Wyman is not involved in this show in any way other than you guys bring him up every now and then.
Or as an employee of the city or represents the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Next question is from Jesse on Facebook. Waste of time. Nothing will change in Kokomo. That's a typo. I think he meant Kokomo.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Unless the rich people or council members and mayor benefit from it. It's the way corrupt Howard County has always been and always will be. Showing face will never change things, like the careless death at the jail, cops violating people's rights daily, and higher ups in the county getting away with corruption. Nice try. But some see right through the fakeness.
Ooh, okay.
Once again, no question there.
Got it.
Let's give a shout out to our
Barrycom.
friends over at Barrycom. That was quite a little stripe of questions there. Barrycom, if you are tired of buffering, spotty connections, or internet that can't keep up with your house or your business, it's time to switch to Barrycom. Barrycom is a local fiber internet provider. Every week I love saying that so much. Serving the Kokomo area, bringing fast, reliable internet to the people who actually live and work here.
Yes.
Fiber means a stronger, more consistent connection for everything you do. Streaming, gaming, working from home, video calls, running a business. I don't know, maybe running a live show every Monday with the mayor.
Right.
All of it. And here's the best part. You're not calling some faraway help desk. With Barrycom, you're working with a local team that understands the community and shows up for it. Upgrade your connection and keep your day moving forward with Barrycom. Fiber built for Kokomo.
Nice.
Love that.
Love it.
All right. So we are now at the live show questions, or the live chat questions. First one, Allie on live chat. Do you believe your position as treasurer on the NCIRPC poses a conflict of interest with the upcoming land annexation in Howard County, explicitly dealing with the IEDC, who owns a majority of the land in question? Or was this just a coincidental business circumstance that won't require further inquiry on conflict of interest and confidentiality breaches? Do you feel the constituents will have this same view? Allie on live chat.
So the NCIRPC is the North Central Indiana Regional Partnership Council, and it's made up of community leaders and elected officials from Howard County, Miami County, Cass County, Clinton County, Tipton County, and Fulton County. And so it's a regional conglomeration that provides supportive services for primarily the rural communities within each of those counties as support for grant applications. I'm not currently the treasurer or any officer of the NCIRPC. When it was first created back a little over 10 years ago, I served as its president for, I don't know, maybe four or 5 years or so, but was never the treasurer, not the acting treasurer now. And besides, it's not a business per se that's buying up ground and such. Don't necessarily, working with the IEDC because that regional group was the one that became our Ready Initiative group. So the last two iterations under Governor Holcomb, where funds were made available to regional groups throughout the state to work on economic development projects. So there's nothing from the NCIRPC or from the Ready Initiative funds, either the first one or the second one, that's going to this rezoning or annexation. So there's no real conflict of interest. It's, again, elected officials working on economic development initiatives collectively as a group for our region in central Indiana.
Okay. And she had a second question. Is the area in question for annexing going to be a TIF district as well, meaning no benefits for the people impacted outside of the TIF and no money for our schools or other entities?
That is one possibility because in many situations like that where there's development, because there's infrastructure needs and such, a TIF district can be set up like it has for other developments. But no, there's actually a opportunity in state statute-wise that allows the increment to be allotted out to county government or other branches of government, as well as schools. And so, depending on what may develop in that area, that's definitely something that we have tossed around in support, especially with the negative impacts that Senate Bill 1 poses for not only municipalities, but for schools and townships and such. That's a possibility to share the wealth that may come from any development that happens in that area.
Okay. Jennifer on live chat, is it the current landowners asking or the developers with holds on the land asking for this specific zoning?
I would have to go through the applications. I haven't looked at the application, but it's my understanding it's the landowners themselves that are asking both to be voluntarily annexed into the city as well as change the zoning classifications. So again, it's the landowners that have to do the request for the annexation. So it's because those are running simultaneous. It's my understanding that the landowners of all those parcels, whether it's the IADC or corporations or individual farming families that are requesting both of those.
Okay. Austin on live chat, why is the large industrial complex that has already ruined soil and environmental complications can't be repurposed to home this data center instead? And I did follow up in the chat talking to him. He is talking about the old GM plant.
The old GM plant,
So Austin, we'll ask that question first.
Yeah. So General Motors Components owns that property. That's theirs to decide what to do with and what not to do with. As I mentioned earlier in the show, there is a flutter of activity, and they're slowly ramping up employment and working on some products there. So that's a good sign that there's, again, that flutter of activity. But I don't know if we've had inquiries and directed those individuals to General Motors. So what those discussions look like or where they felt, that would be up to General Motors and, as I understand it, the UAW to decide how they would choose to repurpose or reuse the GM site. Like I said, we as the city has had inquiries and have turned those or connected them with the folks at GM, but that's the decision that GM Components would have to make.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, it is also, he wants to know, is the mayor worried about the investigations into the foundations he sits on the board for?
I have no idea what investigations there are. I don't think I'm on any foundation boards. I'm on United Way board, the NC, as I mentioned, NCIRPC. I'm not on the Community Foundation board. I'm not on any other foundation, so don't know what that would be or who they'd be referring to or what foundations are being investigated.
Okay.
So, sorry.
Gary on live chat, are landowners required to present the purpose as to why they are requesting rezoning, such as the 440 acres just north of US 31? Gary on live chat.
No. I think they put, there is a spot on the application that indicates the reason for, and I think they've all just indicated for the potential development of that ground for industrial uses. They can be as general as that. Very seldom do they specifically say that they're working with a medical supply company or even a data center or any of those others. Because a lot of that they may have signed with those companies non-disclosure agreements, and so they just generally say in their application that it's for the general potential of industrial development. I forget how it reads, but each application has just a general description like that. So it's very unlikely that a landowner would disclose who they're working with, again, for the sake of a non-disclosure agreement that was signed so that it prevents their competition from hearing what they may be doing.
Got it. So. Chris on live chat, what determines where a rehab facility is located? Should the neighborhood have a say-so? Chris on live chat.
Yes. I mean, so a lot of those would fall into rezoning. So it'd be the same thing here that if someone has a vacant church or housing facility or something, it would need to be institutional use if it's for rehab type of services, and so they would go through the same public hearing and notices as anyone would. Adjacent property owners would be notified. There'd be a posting there if somebody was purchasing or wanting to repurpose or rezone a facility for any type of rehab. If it's kind of a traditional housing where there's no supportive services or formal medical type of rehab being offered, it just could be multifamily. That would be a multifamily residential zoning. So it may not necessarily be classified as a rehab or transitional housing, but if it's not already zoned appropriately, then that landowner would have to go through the same rezoning and notification of adjacent property owners and posting of the rezoning meeting time like anybody else. So,
okay. Johnny on live chat, can we get an honest answer on why the city is annexing more when you cannot manage what you currently have? For example, the trash pickup fee you forced and the fact that the city sat on an EPA order for over 20 years. Johnny on Facebook or live chat.
So the idea to basically honor the request for additional land to be annexed is the opportunity to provide or offer the possibility of new development, which could bring additional jobs for that development, whatever it might be, and industrial-wise. Like I said, it was great back during the pandemic when we had the ventilators here, and we thought, we can get a medical device. I mean, so there could be a lot of corporations, looking for the opportunity. I know it was mentioned the IEDC owns a handful of those parcels. They may be meeting with site selectors and have something in mind that they want to try and market the property for. So I think we're managing with what we've got now, and then obviously the additional revenue that could be brought in would allow for the services to be increased and covered. But what was the other part of his question?
Something about we sat on an EPA order for over 20 years.
So, I mean, the EPA, it was the wastewater treatment, so it was the separation of our sanitary and stormwater sewers. So, when we took office in 2020, there was only three years left on that thing. I mean, so we'd have to check with the previous administration. I mean, a lot of it has to do really with the disruption that this last phase would require to be done and the additional costs involved with that. As we witnessed, nobody likes to increase rates in order to cover work that's being mandated to be done. So that's probably one of the main reasons the majority of the work was done. We didn't sit on it for 20 years. There's been work done throughout the 20 years prior to address some of the smaller low-hanging fruit aspects of that EPA order. It just got to the tail end when the largest one needed to be done, which is what we're doing now. So they didn't sit on it for 20 years. There were bits and pieces where they chipped away at it, and we just, unfortunately, they saved the worst for last.
Oh, man. Ryan on live chat. Can we get more roundabouts up and down Markland to cut out traffic lights and one on Home and Boulevard? And can we rename US 31 in town as Wildcat Road? Ryan,
See, a lot of it, I mean, so roundabouts would need accessibility. I mean,
love
he might have
roundabouts,
been, joking with some of that,
I don't know.
but a lot of it would be the availability of land because those are larger than what they would think, and so it would cut into the properties there and such. But I'm assuming you mean 931, rename 931. What do you say, Wildcat Road?
Yeah, with a K. It's important.
Sure.
Got to be with a K.
So.
Spelling only matters in some parts in this town. Andrea on live chat, when will Deaf and Ball be finished?
I think by March, maybe April. I don't know. That's a project because that's being monitored and coordinated by the county highway, because county highway is responsible for all the bridges. And what Haynes is doing is work on that stretch of road that actually has the drive underneath it, so it's classified as a bridge. It needed work because it was failing, and so it's my understanding, because they ran into some issues with what was underneath, that it kind of delayed its completion, and then of course we hit winter. I believe it should be done by March or April. Hopefully sooner, but March or April.
Okay. Ryan on live chat, how does the city plan to provide fire service for this new industrial area?
Yeah, so we'll continue to try and recruit and add bodies. I know we're completing Station 6. Station 6 will have a larger facility that we can house one of the newer engines to be able to respond to some of the larger industry out there. But as we continue to grow for bringing tax increment in, higher AV in and such, and with what might be proposed as some of the fix or replacements for the property tax relief that Senate Bill 1 dictates, we're going to continue to work within our budgetary means to keep not just fire, but police as well, as the city continues to grow. That as we get that in, we keep our fingers crossed that we can continue to compete with the other communities, but continue to grow our numbers and look at how best to increase the resources and footprint that we have for our fire department as well as police.
Gotcha.
So it's a timing.
And Carl on Facebook just says, don't need no roundabout. Just make sure that was clearly read. Thaddeus on live chat, off topic. On January 19th, I got in an accident due to faulty stoplights. The mayor witnessed the accident and told the Officer Purdy, is that the last name? Purdy. The city would cover damages. I'm curious if you plan to honor your word. Thaddeus on Facebook.
Yeah, so I gave my statement that was then sent, because obviously it would be covered by the insurance company, and so yes, I gave my statement as part of that, as part of the report for that accident, and so I think the issues now, or the ball's in the insurance company's court. So I'll have to get an update and see where they are on that.
Got it. Kevin on live chat, I've noticed that vehicles often park in the fire lane at the Walmart, which could block emergency access. I'm concerned about safety. Is there anything is there something the city can do to help reduce this?
Just respond to calls. So again, private property, if there's violations of those, they can call out KPD or towing companies. It would be either the individuals calling them out to report it, or the business owners themselves, and in this case would be Walmart. I know that it's been done before and in other cases, but I mean, that's probably the best, is if they get reported and can find out what can be done or addressed at that point.
Got it. Stan on live chat, or as I incorrectly wrote, love chat, but trust me, it's just a live chat. What can you do when the city trucks want to slam our trash cans down? Oh, there was a too early question mark. I'm like, what does that mean? When city trucks want to slam our trash cans down and break the wheels off or break the lids off the cans, and we can call and get or go on the website and try to get another can, but they don't get back with us. What can you do about that? Stan on live chat.
Email me the address. Again, if the wheels get busted or the lids, obviously they can get and should be replaced. But best bet if you're calling. If you submit the replacement online, feel free to follow up with a phone call to the street department. Otherwise, you're welcome to email your address to me, and I can follow up with the street department accordingly.
Got it. Shane on live chat. Can Kokomo start enforcing ordinances about people parking in their yards and blocking sidewalks? Shane on live chat.
I was going to say, it depends on where they're parking. If they feel that there's a violation, call code enforcement. They can come out and they will investigate it. And if they are in non-compliance or in violation, they would then notify the owner or tag the vehicle and then let the legal process follow at that point. But if there do appear to be violations, they can, again, call code enforcement to investigate it.
Kyle on live chat. Where can I find the exact map of what could possibly be annexed over by the battery plant?
I don't know that it's available online. I think you can call the Planning Commission. They can make a map available because it is a public record. But yeah, that would be, because I don't think there's anything online yet. It's not been considered. The application's been made, but there's not been anything that's been formally brought before. But it's the same map that's up for rezoning. So yeah, that's available through the Planning Commission. You can contact the Planning Commission. They can email you a copy of that map.
Or they meet tomorrow night, correct?
Correct.
Got it. Steve on live chat. How's come when repaving up north by ITP1, why we couldn't have a turn lane to turn off and going east on 35 or towards the north parking lot to the plant? It is pretty dangerous slowing down to turn right and not being able to get out of the way of cars continually going north. Just would be nice to have a turn lane. I believe that is the only road that doesn't have a turn lane, and a lot of cars turn there to go to work. Steve on live chat.
Yeah, we've had that, I think, mentioned before. NDOT controls 931. I know that I have at least twice expressed or relayed that concern and request to NDOT, but NDOT is responsible and would coordinate any type of adjustments or modifications made, or additions in this case, of turn lanes to anything along 931. At each intersection.
Got it. Samantha on live chat. I would consider myself rather uninformed, off to a good start, when it comes to local politics overall, and up until these last few years, I haven't really taken interest. Why is there such a distrust between the mayor, the councilman, and Paul Wyman? Did something happen that I missed in my youth? Is it stemming from the smoking ban in bars that caused so much of a stir with local business owners? Maybe just the political climate in general right now, general distrust in politicians. I would really love to believe that our local government has its citizens' best interest at heart, but it seems like no one believes anything you or anyone being or should be respected says. Just would like the mayor's personal thoughts on it all.
Yeah, it is. It's because decisions that are made or developments that are supported, or people may not agree with, and so as soon as people don't agree with a position or a development, or have questions, concerns. They and don't get the answers they want to hear, automatically assume they're not being heard, or that elected officials or decision makers can't be trusted. But she's right. I think it does have a little bit to do with the political climate as well. There's just a lot of noise, and a lot of times too that information that gets shared between individuals, especially on social media, when it's not completely true. People go to social media to get what they feel is the truth or the complete story, when in actuality it's not. And so I think just because there's a lot that's happening that some people don't agree with, those that are most outspoken they're the ones that you don't hear from, the handful of folks that may support one thing or another, which is unfortunate. But fortunately, I mean, to hear that publicly, fortunately, I do receive a lot of compliments from folks on what we're doing. And I say we, as in my administrative team and our department heads and other community leaders, not just elected, but through the alliance and such that are doing for Kokomo. And so that's reassuring and encouraging. It's just you usually don't hear the good because of the noise of the bad.
Barry Pros on live chat. Mayor, does your lawn have an irrigation system?
Nope.
Bill on live chat. What is the mayor's vision for Kokomo? What is his main goal while being in office?
To continue to provide opportunities and amenities to folks not only that live here but may want to live here, to encourage development and progress, to continue to see the city grow and provide opportunity. In the line of jobs and, like I said, other amenities. And we've got a great opportunity with the 31 bypass and our proximity to Indianapolis. And so would love to continue to find a way that so many administrations and community leaders before have said we need to diversify the economy here because of our heavy reliance on the automotive industry, and we've been blessed to have that, and blessed to have the automotive industry have such a large presence and continue, but other opportunity would be great as well. And so just continuing to do things that would encourage or entice other industry to develop and bring additional new jobs here.
David on live chat, if the industrial park, finger quotes and actual quotes, if you could see the text, happens, will there be a strong effort to use organized labor or at least local labor to develop?
Absolutely. I mean, we would encourage, any developer or firm, contractor or whatever, to use local organized skilled labor first before tapping into other resources. So yeah, we always try to encourage those that develop here to think local and use local labor.
Bree on live chat.
Hey.
Not Bree Bragg, just so we're clear. Clearly, the county residents are not in favor of annexing or rezoning any of the property out near 200 East and 400 North, data center or not. What would you say to those who feel these hearings are nothing more than a formality / checked box with the decision already made versus truly listening to the residents, since they are the ones who would ultimately be affected the most? Bree on live chat.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of folks that have come out that, I mean, if there are those in and around the area in question, I mean, it's kind of the same because we're not going after that. We're not. I mean, the city's not going after. The city's not. I mean, it's these landowners. I mean, so I mean, if they live out there, I mean, it's their neighbors that are asking basically for permission to do what they want with their properties out there. I mean, it's kind of the same way. I mean, if any of those property owners, wanted to build a fence, build a barn, put a pool in, sell to a restaurant or to another organization, and their neighbors came and told them, no, we don't want you to do this. Or I mean, it comes down to what folks want or should be allowed to do with their property within legal rights. I mean, if this was spot zoning, if this was out in an island by itself, and I mean, that's a different story. But because it's property owners are owned or own the property in question, it's right off of an interchange, off of a major interstate quality road. I mean, there's opportunities there, but I guess if those folks need to, find opportunities to talk to the landowners. I mean, the landowners can pull their request for annexation and zoning. We're supporting that request and decision that they've made to do so, but would also honor and respect the decision to do just the opposite. So it comes down to really property rights, what people want to do within legal ramifications of what they want to do with their own property. This isn't a land grab. We're not taking it. We're not rezoning it. It's those that have put in applications and they themselves are doing it.
2 more questions. You ready?
Okay.
We got it. Calvin on live chat. Would a zoo fall into an industrial rezoning? If not, when and where could Kokomo have a local zoo?
I don't think a zoo is a permitted use for heavy industrial. I believe there's a recreational type of zoning. It would be the same as parks, or even like Championship Park and that's a type of. But I guess anything could be rezoned, for a zoo. We could use one of our city parks as well if it would come to that. But no, I don't think zoo is a permitted use or even an exception use for heavy industrial.
Okay. Last question, Jason. Okay. Is there any ordinance or recourse when it comes to new small businesses opening closed to existing small businesses for the same type? For example, my friend has a small business downtown, and a new business that is the same type of business is opening less than a block away. It's difficult for small businesses to thrive downtown, and this just makes it even more difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there is not. I mean, the only one that we have in place is for small box discount stores or convenience stores at this time, just because it was getting saturated in many respects, but no, there's no ordinance in place that prohibits any of that. I mean, it's the kind of CVS and Walgreens type of situation, or McDonald's and Burger King. I mean, it provides. I mean, that competition sometimes provides more traffic or more business. Just because it's an additional option. So depending on what the nature of the business is, I mean, that could be the decision of the property owner themselves that rent to potential tenants, that if they didn't want another coffee shop 2 doors down from another coffee shop. But I think many times folks see that, even though it may be a similar type of business, a lot of times foot traffic brings, or foot traffic to one may result in foot traffic to the other one. It's like, there's the option. Such it's kind of the same way with restaurants and other retail being close to each other. Kind of the same way, almost like in a mall.
Got it. Just a few comments that weren't questions that I do want to read today. Kathy says, thank you, Tyler, for all your help and support at the Veterans Memorial, as well as I did want to mention, let me find this one. This was shout out to the First Lady is what I like to call her.
Awesome.
Somebody said, where is it?
That'll be nice. She'll love to hear that.
Yeah. I just want to commend the mayor's wife for being a phenomenal help with my son. Chris said that. So
awesome.
Shout out to the First Lady. Always like to give her flowers too. Am I the only one that calls her that?
No.
Okay, good.
Online, yes, I think.
Online, okay, yeah. That's what I call it, First Lady. Somebody else was talking to me, and she got brought up the other day too. I'm like, yeah, she's the First Lady. First Lady of Kokomo. Okay, those are the questions we had today.
Sorry we went long, folks. Man.
We did it. Hey, man, they kept asking questions. Don't apologize. If you have any questions for next week's show, let's say you're watching the replay of this, because this does get posted. The recording gets posted right after we click, no longer live. So we do post clips as well as just the whole show gets a replay. If you're watching this later, leave your comments in the chat below. We pull those over to the pre-show questions that I was talking about earlier. Thank you for all the comments and the questions today.
Absolutely.
Great discussion. Obviously there's a lot of questions just about, this rezoning and things like that. So great discussion, great clarity. Hopefully some people walked away with some clear outlook on that and what they came with. Mr. Mayor, do you have a dad joke for us?
Mentioned earlier, we're in the middle of the Olympics, and and every country is special, not as special as the United States of America. But any reason why Switzerland is so special?
Switzerland is special. No, I can't think of why Switzerland would be so special.
I know, me neither, but their flag is a plus.
Google that. People watching at home, if you don't get that joke, learn your flags better. Thanks for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partnered with Robert Miller and Son. Of course, thank you to Antique Mall in Kokomo and all of our other partners we had. Berrycom, Wolf Smokehouse, Affordable Pest. Thank you guys for being partners here on the show. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We will see you next Monday because we do the show every week. We'll see you next time, Kokomo.
See you, Kokomo.